Hello everybody and welcome back to Farm Sim 25 and welcome back to our Survival 4X Take Over the Map Challenge. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm getting kind of fed up with this tractor behind me. This one right here has been a great tractor for us, but she's starting to run into some issues that are driving me absolutely bonkers. Alright, she really is. I tried to get her started on mowing. She was mowing just fine. She gets to that corner, she just stops mowing because now the mower's too, like, it drops down too far and it lifts the rear wheels off the ground. Like, it's driving me bonkers, man. Bonkers. So, as much as I think that we could keep this thing around, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, you know what? Is it actually worth keeping around anymore? If we look, we know that we can pick up other tractors right now. The tractor that we were looking at potentially upgrading to in the near future was this case down here that was looking to be quite nice, right? Like, both of these, I'm not sure exactly what the difference between them is. This one has more horsepower, so I think we were going to go with that. But we have options with some of these tractors. But here's the deal. This tractor behind me has been driving me absolutely bonkers. And so what I'm thinking is we can replace it with something like this old 40 series John Deere, right? Relatively cheap, decent horsepower, can be upgraded. Same thing with this 40 series two-wheel drive. So we've got the four-wheel drive model and the two-wheel drive model. Honestly, I don't think we necessarily need the four-wheel drive model for what we're going to be using this for. So the two-wheel drive model saves us $5,000 right out the gate. It starts with 174 horsepower, right? 174 horsepower. And, I mean, the wheel setup, we would go with, I don't need narrows. I don't think we even need that. Just, like, wide tires could work for the time being. The design would have to be U.S. I am a U.S. person, right? So I got to go with that. Even though technically this map is over there, I want to say the Netherlands, but I can't remember. But no beacons. Front mount, we do have a 3-point mount on the front as well. We're not the forestry version. We don't need the front loader attacher. So $57,800 I think is a no-brainer. I think we just go ahead and pick this up. Okay. Again, not a huge horsepower tractor, but considering what's driving me crazy about what our current tractor is capable of doing, I think the current tractor is just too small. So we're just outgrowing it. So I think we're going to go ahead and pick this one up, and we're going to end up selling the old tractor off. So let's go ahead and do that. It's $57,800 to buy the new tractor. We do have to have at minimum 2 tractors, right? We could keep this thing around, have it do some of the small stuff, but again, I don't want to keep it around anymore. Like, it's driving me crazy with the little stuff that it does. Look how close this hitches to the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Like, when you hook up to this, watch, I'll show you. Watch what happens when we hook up to this this mower. This is our problem. It raises the tractor up and then it sinks back down to the ground. So then when you lower the tractor or lower the mower, well, it didn't do it that time. But what happens is it raises the tractor off the ground. So, in essence, I'm done with it. I'm done fooling around with it. It's driving me bonkers. So, we're going to go up here. We're going to repair and sell it and get some money out of it. It's been a good tractor for us. We can't get upset with it. It did everything we asked of it, for the most part, till recently. Alright, so $46 to repair it. And then we're going to just go ahead and go into our vehicle menu and sell it. Is what I would say if the game wasn't saving. Alright. So let's go ahead, go in here to vehicles. We want the Case IH5100. Nope, that ain't it. It's not the Universal. Oh, there it is. The Case 1070 Agra King. Yeah, we're not going to get much out of this, but we are going to go ahead and sell it. $12,214 is what we'll get out of it. That is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I know we technically spent some money, but hey, sometimes you just gotta move on. You know, it's a great tractor. Did everything we needed it to do for the time being. We're gonna grab our our deck trailer, whatever you want to call it. Also, we do, I believe. Why isn't this showing up? Okay. I was going to say, I do believe our silage is ready, so we can sell off our silage too. I think because it's loaded on the trailer, it's not actually showing up. Now, the one thing that I didn't look at was, does that actually sell as silage? Did it ferment because it was in the trailer? I really hope that I didn't screw this up. Okay, it is actually silage. Good. I was a little worried, I ain't gonna lie. Alright, so we're gonna stop. We're gonna load it all up. Take our first load in. And, does this have a... It does not seem to have a trailer hitch on the back, does it? I was gonna say, we might be able to take the load boy too, but... Or the, trailer as well, but it's fine. What we could do is go ahead and have this tractor start mowing. Whoops. While we're thinking about it. So at least something's getting done while we haul everything in. Alright. Now, while that's working on mowing, we're going to go ahead and get back to hauling our silage in. Make a little bit of money in the bank. I forget how much money we're set to make out of our silage. But I want to say it was like $75,000 or something like that, what we made last time. So this will be slightly more than that in theory. Good news is silage prices don't really fluctuate on this map too much, so any time of year that we have silage, we don't have to hold on to it. We can sell it right away. I also did a little bit of testing for our playthrough off screen, and found out that the crop moisture and stuff is something that we can affect, but unfortunately there's no way seemingly to get our new fields to be recognized by the in-game irrigation menu. So if we do want to water our fields, we have to water them manually somehow. Now, we've got mods that allow us to have like a pivot system set up, like a pivot irrigation system. We can use something like that, or we can get some sort of sprayer that can hold water that we can water the field with that way. But that's basically our options at the moment. I'm not super worried about it because right now we're not trying to like maximize yield or anything like that necessarily. Plus the fact that our yield fluctuates is kind of like normal, it's realistic. So I think I keep with that for the time being. But we will go ahead, get over here, and see if we can make some decent money. Now, if I remember correctly, we were making, what about $9,000 a truckload? Or more. Might be more. I forget. We're about to find out, so let's unload. Oh yeah, way more. $27,000 a truckload. That sounds better. And we've got, what, 4 full trucks in the partial? Or 3 full trucks in a partial. Might be 3 full trucks in a partial. Still should add up to a pretty nice payday. But I'll see you guys when I get back with another load. Alright, load number 2. 3rd full load. Alright. Last full load that we have, we got like maybe 8 more bundles, or 8 more bales. So should end up with a pretty decent payday. I'm probably going to switch trailers though, and go to the deck trailer so that we can pick that up on our way back. I can strap the bales into the deck trailer, so it shouldn't be a problem. All right, so we are here with the last of our silage bales. Go ahead and unstrap it. Another roughly $9,000. Let's go ahead and put the ramps down. And we'll go over here, fire up our brand new John Deere. Look at this thing. Brand new John Deere. Let's go. Sounds good. Interior looks good. Feel like this is going to be a big step up for us. This tractor is bigger than it looks. Either that or this trailer is just real small, which could be as well. We'll pull this up until we have the weight over the axles of the trailer. Get her strapped in. Fold up the ramps, and let's get this brand new John Deere back to the farm. But $157,000 in the bank. Now we're actually talking, man. Starting to get a little bit of money. All right. Look at that. Doesn't it look so good? Look at this. That is an absolute beauty of a tractor on the back of our trailer. So let's get this thing unloaded. We're actually going to hook this thing up to the baler and see if we can't pull that baler with it. Now the next question is, do we want to go ahead and just upgrade this thing now? We do have money in the bank, so I think that that would be a good idea. Just go ahead and max out the horsepower now, which we can do from right here at our little shop. Let's just go ahead and do that. So if we want to, we can go up to the 4840, which gives us 203 horsepower. It's only going to cost $5,000 for the upgrade as well. So I think we go ahead and do that. The other thing I didn't do was change the tires. I kind of like the Nokian tires, I ain't gonna lie. They're kind of like more modern. What do we get for the John Deere? This is the standard John Deere US tire, huh? Okay, what else we got? Wide tires. Okay, those look kind of weird. Got chains for forestry. Rear twins. Yeah, I don't know about the John Deere tires, to be honest. Maybe we just go with some, like, good old-fashioned wide Michelins. That costs... If we go just wide tires here. I think we already had wide tires. You know what? Let's just leave the regular old tires on there. There's no sense in spending extra money for nothing. Alright, so this is going to be $5,000 extra to get the 200 horsepower. And then we should be able to hook up to the baler, start doing the baling. Now this tractor doesn't have a very high top speed, which is fine. Because it ain't meant for speed. Just needed to be able to pull all of our heavy equipment. And we will go ahead and start our baler. Okay, well there's strike number 1 against this thing. You'd think for a 2-wheel drive tractor this thing would have a decent turning radius. Can confirm, not so. So we just got this finished mowing. I'm gonna go ahead and take this up to the top, get him mowing up there. Then I'll finish getting our baling done down here. Now this tractor will be our mowing tractor because it's got the speed. Because this mower can do 16 miles an hour, I believe, and our green John Deere can only do 13, and the baler can only do 10. So kind of makes sense to keep the John Deere with the baler, and then let this tractor continue to do all the stuff that actually requires a lot of speed. Now eventually I would love to get another tractor. I think we're just a little bit short right now, but we could easily do that in about 3 months when we sell off our next batch of silage here that we're making. And hit up here. Set the AI off to the races. Alright, let's take a look at what we've got in terms of... yeah, the yield is looking awful. Now, precision farming wise, it looks fine. But the rest of the yield, not so much. Showing like 47.5%. Again, the water is, the moisture is just not there. So, not good. And I think you can tell by the lack of bales that we've created so far that we're in kind of the same boat down here. But I'll get back to it, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright. So, we finished up the baling in this field. We're going to take our tractor up to the other field. The AI has just finished up with that field in terms of mowing, so that's great. We'll bring the tractor down. We'll hook that tractor up to the wrapper. Get these bales wrapped. Get them pulled off the field so that they're out of the way. And then I'll set the AI to start fertilizing and liming. I think we'll go ahead and lime both fields this time. And then we'll fertilize them. And then I need to talk to you guys about some potential irrigation options. But that'll be for a little bit later. For now, we're going to be going up here. Now, I ain't going to lie to you guys. This has been a weird episode to try to record. I've had to, like, cut the recording multiple times due to performance issues. Also, can we just talk about how we're in a cab right now? Dude, we are moving up in the world. Look at this. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, we were having some performance issues related to the realistic weather mod. So I decided to make a change to the realistic weather mod that I thought maybe do something. It's called the moisture map. And it started out at 8 and 8. I don't know what any of it means. But it started out at 8 and 8. And then I decided to change it down to a 4 and a 4. And the game started running like crap. And I don't know what was going on. So I just like eventually got tired of it and set it back to 8 and 8. And everything seems to be working now. Go figure. I don't know what I did wrong, but clearly that was not it. But let's go ahead and jump in. Get this old tractor this old mower folded up and out of the way. We'll get this back down to the other property. Grab the wrapper. We'll wrap up all the bales that we made down there. And then, like I said, we will go ahead and start the fertilizing and liming. We are going to lose a lot of money because I'm going to set it to AI to do. And anytime that you let the AI like autofill fertilizer and stuff, it tends to cost like 3 times as much to do, which is just not ideal. But honestly, I'm going to be baling and then wrapping up here, so like I'm going to need to be able to do that myself. And this is another way we can use the AI to help us. And right now, at least until we get a better spreader, we can't actually hold enough fertilizer or lime to get our fields done in one swoop. Otherwise, I would. And then we wouldn't have to pay as much for the lime and fertilizer. But right now, our fertilizer spread... You know what? We're calling it audible. We don't have to always get everything done in one episode. I know I tend to do that. I tend to try to like force out everything in one episode. But we're getting to a point where we're doing so much that it's kind of hard to get it all done in one episode anyway. This spreader, we've got enough money in the bank. There is no reason that we should be stuck with this spreader, right? So what I'm thinking is that we could potentially go ahead and sell that spreader. Let me jump in here, see what we got. We'll check out the other spreaders. I'll probably just get a Colossus spreader, just because out of all the things that are unrealistic in the game, the spreader itself doesn't have it. I guess it's 50 meters working with, but it doesn't really have that much extra working with, considering most of the spreaders are like 36 to 42 meters. But the main thing is its capacity. The fact that I don't have to keep like running back and forth across the map to fill it up. So that's something that I think we might need to do. So before we get into it, let's go ahead and check this. Whoa, hello. I mean, this is a seed tender, right? For like a drill? Oh, this is 100% a seed tender for a drill. What does this fit? We need to find whatever fits that. Hold the phone. That could come in handy in the future. I know we're not, I'm getting sidetracked again, but that could definitely come in handy for the future. If we go to seeders, is there like a case seeder that fits with that tank? So this is the one that we're currently looking at, right? Something like this. So it would be these particular ones here. This is 2300, that's a 2400, slightly bigger than this. And then these would be the seeders that would go with it. SDX 30 pull behind. Both of them are the same. Oh, okay. Wait a second. So this version would be hooked to your tractor and then the seed tank would follow it. And then this version, the seed tank would be hooked to your tractor and that version would follow it. Okay. I mean, it's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's affordable. So that is something that we might actually have to look at. But we're not after that right now. Stop, Spartan. You get distracted too much. All right. So the Lizard Colossus mod. If we go for the unrealistic, it's $20,000. That's all it is. So we can absolutely afford that. And it can be upgraded to have over 100,000 liters. So I think we just go ahead and do it. We don't change the wheels. I ain't worried about changing the wheels at all. We are going to go for narrow tires, obviously. So in the future, if we need to fertilize a field or something, we don't necessarily need to destroy the crop in the process, because we do have crop destruction on. But other than that, the main thing would be to change the capacity to the 100,000 liters. And we can have two of these, one for lime, one for fertilizer. Or we can have one and just use it back and forth for lime and fertilizer. For now, I think we just get the one. It's $21,500. We're going to go ahead and do it. And again, it only has a 42 meter working width, which is the same as all the other spreaders that we... actually, I think the one we're currently using only has 36, so this will be slightly more. But the main thing is it's going to stop us from having to go like crazy with the... driving back and forth and then spending extra money. So let me hook this tractor up to the wrapper, and then we will actually go across the map, grab the fertilizer spreader and throw on our trailer, bring it back over to the farm. Now you guys will have to let me know down in the comments if you guys prefer the mini map or not. I've always turned it off because personally I don't like it being on the screen, because I feel like it clutters the screen a little bit. But I did have a commenter recently start talking about how they want me to turn the mini map on. So let me know what you guys think about whether you guys want it on or off. Obviously during time lapses it would be off. But if you guys want to see it more, let me know. It's not a big deal for me to leave it on. Like I said, it's just one of those things I've always turned off when I play Farm Sim. But yeah, let's run over here and grab a hold of our brand new fertilizer spreader. And then we'll also sell off the old fertilizer spreader because we don't really need it. Or we could potentially just use that fertilizer spreader for fertilizer. But then again, it still don't have enough, even for our fertilizer, it doesn't have enough to actually finish the fields that we're currently using. So it's not really ideal. So yeah, I think we just get these. And then we'll just have to unload and load it with whatever we need at the time. And again, I'll just have the workers over here plop the new one on the truck. And by workers, it's totally not going to be me with super strength. And this thing's a lot bigger than you think. Still a little bit further. Yeah, how's that? Trying to center it as best I can. Beautiful. Alright, strap her in. But anyway, back to the whole discussion about the minimap thing. Here's why I don't go any like crazier with the minimap. It's because we're on a 4x map. So that's our minimap. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it doesn't really show a whole lot. Because in the grand scheme of things, we still haven't done a whole lot. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know down in the comments whether you guys want the minimap, don't want the minimap. But we are going to head right through here. Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, every time.
Dude, if this game had collision damage, I'd have been screwed from the get-go. Because this truck struggles through this section. For reals. Alright, this is the part where the load actually starts pushing my truck down the hill. So we just coast, and then we hit the gas. Almost rolled the truck. Perfect. Alright. While that's doing that, we can grab our tractor over here, wrap all these bales up. I forget to turn on the auto dropping. It always resets after you disconnect. we got a bale over there. We don't want to forget that. I bet that's a finished silage bale too. Probably been there for a minute. I'll have to remember that one. Alright, so we're almost finished with the baling. I ain't gonna lie, guys, this has been taking quite a while. The tractor's doing just fine, the baler's doing just fine, it's just that we have a lot of stuff to bale. And the unfortunate side effect of the way we do grass currently is that we can't really automate it. Eventually, I would like to get like a forage harvester or something that can cut the grass and put the grass in like a trailer, and then we could have like a fermenting silo that automatically turns the grass into silage over time and can sell it off directly. That's the end goal, but we're a long ways from implementing anything like that. For now, we do it the old school way, where we just drive circles around the field for hours at it on end. But we're almost done, and we'll just go ahead and call it there. Now, the fun thing is, we actually got more bales, I think, off this top field than we managed to get off of the bottom field, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But I do believe we actually got more bales up here than we got down there. But I do want to try to get into irrigation of some kind, whether it's a trailer that we drive around and sprays the field with water, or if we can get some sort of pivot system, something that we can do to try to get some water. But for now, we're going to get this driven back to our farm, and then we will go from there. Not going to lie, this old tractor, though, I do wish it was kind of faster. That is the only thing that I don't like about it. Other than that, I like it. It's old school looking. Like, it is a cab tractor, which is nice. It's kind of like a step up from what we've been doing in terms of comfort. But yeah, I mean, it's powerful, but it just, I don't know, it's a little slow. It says that it's capable of 19 miles an hour, so it doesn't feel that slow. And we're doing 20 right now, so I guess it's not as slow as it seemed. But there for a little while, I felt like we were only doing like 13 miles an hour total. But we're going to cut through here. We should be able to go down into our backyard. That's another thing I want to try to get cleared up in the next couple of episodes too, is our ends over there and over here. We should be able to cut these end pieces out. Maybe even clear a couple of these little trees that are in the way. And make this like a connected pathway, rather than it just looking like us driving through the forest all the time. That is something else that I've been thinking about. But for now, let's drive around the well. We'll get this baler up next to the house where we usually leave it. And we will disconnect and shut her down there. And then we will hop back up into this tractor and unfold it and start wrapping. Alright, that is all of the wrapping done. At least it should be. Unless I missed one. But I don't think I did. So we'll get this wrapper taken back down, then we'll have to drive back up, and then we'll grab the truck, pick everything up, and then attach our tractor to the spreader so that we can drop some lime. And I may go ahead and pick up the fertilizer spreader that we still own down there while I'm down there. There it is. It's another thing that the, I think it's either the realistic weather mod or the mod for the tire wear. One of them reduces the effectiveness of the braking of the equipment as well. So something else. Or are we facing... Oh my goodness. I dropped it facing the wrong way. Now what I'll probably end up doing with this, at least for the time being, is using this for fertilizer, using the other one for lime. There we go. It's full. But you can see it only holds 2,000 liters of fertilizer, and unfortunately that is like just enough to run out before we finish our field. So what I'll probably do is when we start the fertilizing side of it, I'll have it started, and then right at the end I'll switch over to AI buying the fertilizer, so I ain't got to drive all the way back across the map. Because this is quite the drive back and forth, especially considering we're driving through the forest. Drop this here. And we'll back up and hook up to the lime spreader first. Shut her down. Jump in the truck. Put it in operating position. And pick up the rest of our bales. But yeah, as you guys can see, we're not having any trouble spreading the lime. We'll get this all spread, and then we'll have to grab the fertilizer spreader. Do the same thing all over again. Now, one other thing that we could do if we really wanted to maximize our yield every year would be to, or every cut would be to roll the fields. But to be perfectly honest, I'm not really into the whole rolling the fields thing. Like, I understand it, but it's still, I think it's like an extra 3%. Which, if you're doing a lot, is a decent amount, but for no more than we currently have, it's not really worth the extra time. Especially if we're going to be losing 30% or 60% of what we should be getting every year, or every cut. Alright, so that is done. We'll get this taken back, and then we'll come back for the fertilizer spreader. And like I said, the downside of the fertilizer spreader that we currently have is it just doesn't have enough capacity. Now, I know I got a mod installed that would also allow us to hook like the fertilizer spreader up to a trailer. It's like a little tow-behind trailer, and that would be one way to use for fertilizer. But in the end, eventually we're just going to have two of these. We'll have one for lime, one for fertilizer, eventually. But we just don't have that. I mean, we could do it right now, but just we don't need to. We will get this back up to the top of the field up there. Go grab the other fertilizer spreader. And then just as we're about to run out, I'll take and have the AI take over, and they can buy fertilizer. It'll cost us a little bit more, but as long as we get most of the field done first, it won't be that big a deal. Go ahead and save as well. We have got quite a bit done. I also went ahead and purchased the soil information for my bottom field again because it was starting to need it. I don't mind doing soil samples the first time, especially if we ain't got no money, but after that I tend to just buy the soil information because it's not a lot of fun driving around and poking the soil 30 times. Alright, let's get up in here. We will set this thing up. The other thing I want to do is go ahead and get this set up for when the AI does take over. So AI worker can buy fertilizer. Yeah, this fertilizer spreader not exactly fast either, as unfortunate as it is. Really not using a ton of fertilizer this time, so maybe we'll get lucky and we'll actually be able to finish this whole thing without running out. Eventually we need to get the ability to have like crop sensors on our equipment and stuff so that we can really dial in the efficiency of all of our usage. Because right now it's just dropping, or it's raising the nitrogen level to whatever is perfect for the soil type. It doesn't take into consideration that this is grass. Each plant has its own like ideal, not just moisture, but I keep saying for nitrogen levels, and the pH that it likes to be. So that's why it's important to have a crop sensor, but we don't have that yet. We do have a tractor that can officially have a crop sensor on the front, but we would have to buy the standalone crop sensor, which I don't particularly like. I prefer to get tractors that actually have it built in. That was not ideal. I don't know what kind of driving that was. I know it's a very small section, but it is going to drive me crazy if I don't do it. Yeah, I'm not sure if we've done quite half the field yet, and we're just now getting under the 50% mark, so I think we still might run out just before we finish. So we might have to have the AI buy a little bit towards the end. I think we're gonna make it. I think we got one more row to go. We got over 30% left, so I think we're gonna make it. But yeah, so the other thing that we were talking about earlier was talking about how we're gonna introduce water to the fields. Now, here's what I think is happening. All right, and you guys can, talk. Let me know down in the comments below if you have any experience, as always, with the realistic weather mod. I think that it's meant to be played on multiple day months. And the reason for that, the reason why I think that is because I think that with multiple day months, you're more likely to have days that have rain or snow. And I think that what's happening is because we're playing on 1 day months, either we get rain or we don't. And if we don't, then we're basically just losing yield every month, right? So I think what we want to do is we want to come up with some way to irrigate. Now, there are pivot systems that I have mods for, but I think if you're going to use a pivot, which I do want to do at some point in the future, but if you're going to use a pivot, I feel like you kind of want it to be on like relatively flat ground and a wide open area in a field that was designed for the pivot. Does that make sense? I don't think a pivot would be the right choice for what we're doing currently, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so I think what we'll look into is some sort of tanker or sprayer that can spray water, and we can irrigate our fields that way. Now I'm hoping that there's a good option that's relatively affordable that we can do it with. But yeah, there's no guarantees. So we'll look at our options in a moment and see what we can do. But we have spent quite a bit of money on equipment already. Like we already got a fertilizer spreader and everything. So we may not be able to afford the irrigation just yet, but as soon as we do, like, it's going to pay for itself very quickly. Like, the amount of yield that we're losing every single time we cut is unacceptable. And we managed to finish the whole field with just enough fertilizer to get away. I love it. All right. But we'll take this back over to the farm, and then we'll look at some options for sprayers and see if there's anything available that we might be able to get away with. Now, obviously, the thing that comes to mind right off the bat would be the Colossus sprayer, because I know it can hold a lot, and it's not a spot and spray or see and spray or whatever, which is usually the more expensive sprayers. This is just like an old school sprayer. It's like a constant flow, but I'm thinking that might be like a perfect water sprayer, at least for early on. And then we'll have to see what it does in terms of overall moisture on the field. I honestly don't know how it's going to work out. I'll be real honest. But I'm hoping that we can make it work. Because anything's got to be better than what we're getting right now. Like, we literally just got like a 36% yield off of our field. We've been getting about 50 to 60% yield. That's unacceptable. Like, we are losing so much money every single time we cut because of this moisture issue. So we've got to get it figured out. And it's just like a farmer. If a farmer is losing money due to not having enough moisture, they introduce their own moisture. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and look into we'll save real quick because we just finished a bunch of work, so I don't want to screw us over. But I'll show you guys everything that we got off of the 2 fields for this harvest. And this was a full 3-month growth period for the grass, so it should have been fully matured and ready to go. This is all we got. We got 3 full trucks and then 1 bale in the back of the truck. That's it. That's it. Normally we get 4 full trailers and a partial load of bales. But 3 full trailers and 1 bale is not acceptable. So we need to try to remedy that as soon as possible. So let's look and see what we got. So obviously we have sprayers, right? So if we look in here, there should be a sprayer for the Colossus mod. You can see right here, this unrealistic Colossus mod is capable of doing 27 miles an hour. But the best part is it can hold up to 100,000 liters of water. I don't know how much water it's going to take to water a field to where it needs to be. But this seems like the best possible choice for us. And again, this does not have all the fancy stuff attached to it that... I think my freaking computer just froze up. Don't you dare. Okay, I was going to say, I thought it was going to break on me. We'll go for the 40 meter working width. This is going to be expensive. Narrow tires is fine. We don't necessarily need it right now. But if we go for the big 100,000 liters, that's bringing us up to 84,000. We'll go with the U.S. design because reasons. And then we don't necessarily have to worry about anything else. How much does an extra trailer hitch cost? It costs 500 for an extra trailer hitch, just in case we want to hook something up to this in the future. Maybe we need an extra tank or something. But we'll get that for future proofing. But $84,500 is a lot of money. But it's going to hopefully pay itself off very quickly. So what I want you guys to see now is how much money we just are about to make on the next time that we do this off of the harvest that we just did. And then how much money we make off of our first harvest when we actually have watered our fields. That's what I want you guys to pay attention to, because that's going to be a big deal. All right, so we're going to go get that real quick, and I'm going to take our truck over to do it. All right, so we've got it back. And the first thing that I just thought about is how are we going to fill this thing up with water? It's going to take 100,000 liters to fill this thing. And I'm wondering, you guys remember that puddle that's in our field? That little spring that's over there that doesn't allow us to fit? I wonder if this would be able to fill up off of that, right? I don't know, but I'm about to find out. If we could imagine we'd be able to water our fields with the little spring water. Like it sounds like it's too good to be true. I'm hoping that it'll work. So right over here, we should be splashing around a little bit. Is there any... If we open it, maybe that'll allow us to fill. Also, I'm not seeing the splashing, so maybe that's not a thing. I'll tell you what. Let's give me a second. Now, one of the things that I wanted to do over on this side of the map was to create a little pond over here. So this area right here is kind of low. We drive up the hill here, but you can see there's like a dip right over here. I think this would be like a perfect little pond area. So I'm thinking we could potentially do that. Now, the way we could do that is if we go into, I want to say it's others. There should be some water planes in here, and there is. So we want a really big one, if we can. So this is 180 by 180. It's probably about as big as she gets. Oh, it's not going to let me, is it? Because I don't own the land. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you could totally put a little pond right there. That is such a shame. Okay, well, shoot. I guess the other option would be to create another well. So we could do that real quick. It's under factories. Should be down towards the bottom. We can dig another well. There it is. For $3 grand. Alright, and this will be our well for our irrigation of our fields. So let's put this somewhere that isn't going to get in the way, but is also... See, that's going to get in the way. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we use this area here quite a bit, so I don't know if that'd be a good spot. And then once we get down this way, there's actually not a lot of land there for us. I don't want to put it in the way. Tell you what, I think we just put it back here in the back. We can drill it next to the other well. How about that? So we'll just drop that right there. And we'll go over, turn it on, and then we'll have to like go through time a little bit to let it fill up. And then we should be able to fill from it. But even then, I think this thing only holds 50,000 gallons. Or 50,000 liters. Go ahead and turn that on. Turn that off. Yeah, so it's already at 10 liters. We'll go ahead and speed up time. All right, we're gonna start with just that. We'll slow the mainly because I don't want to get to the point where we're out of daylight. But we'll start with that. Start filling with water. Okay, we got 9,300 liters. Now let's see how much it's going to take for us to do our field, because I have no idea. I don't know if it'll take a little bit of water or a lot of bit of water. But right now you can see moisture is around 11%, 7%, 9%. So it's not good. Ideally we want to be between 18 and 22%. I managed to unfold and get myself stuck on the silo. Alright. Now we unfold. Set this thing up. And start spraying. Oh, it's going to spray a lot of water. Yeah, we're going to need a lot of water. We're basically going to have 2 dedicated wells for this, for sure. And we're already out. But let's look at that and see what it does for the moisture. Still like 12%, 14%. I mean, better than it was, but not into the ideal range at all. So we would have to go over this multiple times. At least twice we would have to water each field at least twice in order to hit the moisture goal. The amount of water that we're going to go through is actually insane. Is it worth it? Like, it's got to be worth it. But how in the world are we supposed to get enough moisture into these fields to make it? I just feel like it's crazy. All right, we'll put up a second one of those wells And like I said, these wells are going to be devoted solely for the purpose of being able to fill up our water trailer or our sprayer. But we need them because we're clearly going to go through a ton of water. I mean, the only other thing that I could think of would be to dig a small pond back here and then use that to fill out of. Like this spot right here. I mean, we could totally... I mean, this is kind of the spot that we drive in and out of up there. We already talked about. I mean, we just don't really have a good spot for doing a pond. Because we use this area down here. If we take away our idea of using this as like a drive lane, what we could do is just come in here, lower the ground a bit. So go in here, lower it right about there, and then we want to level off at that. Alright, doesn't have to be anything too crazy. And then what we want to do is kind of soften the front edge that we're going to be using to drive into it. We can kind of soften the back edge too so it doesn't look just too crazy. Alright. And now if we put in a small little bit of water, something like this probably would work. It's hard to see. Something like that should work. Now we've got this little pond area that we could potentially fill in. Let's start this up and see if it'll fill directly from that. I'm hoping that it does. But I'm not sure that it will. Notice that it's not saying to start filling. Alright, well, that's not a good sign. Okay, there's one more option. One more option. If we go into the market, there should be a tank. A Colossus tank. Be under barrels. This Colossus liquid tanker can hold up to 5 million gallons, right? It's going to be expensive. US version. Maximum 5 million gallons. All right. Now, the thought process with this is, yes, I'm going to have to take out a loan for this because we ain't got the money for it. But we'll pay it back in 6 months. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay? The thought process there is that barrel absolutely will be able to pick up out of that pond, right? Let's go get our new water tanker. I know this is crazy, but I want to be... If I can get this to work, it's going to pay for itself. I'm not worried about that. Like, if I can get this stuff to actually function the way I need it to, it's going to pay for itself. And then what we could do is just slow down instead of going at maximum speed while spraying. We could slow down and find the right speed for bringing the moisture up to what we need it to. But if the sprayer itself can hold 100,000 liters and then the barrel can hold 5 million liters, we should be able to fill up the barrel through that little pond that we just made. So the water will be free. In theory, worst case scenario, we have those water pumps that are sitting there that we just built. We can just use them to sell off their water that they produce. So we'll make a little bit of money there. Not a lot, but a little bit. So those will eventually pay themselves off too, so it's not the end of the world. We could even dedicate one to just keeping the raspberry farms full, even though the raspberry farms don't use that much water. Alright, so I have officially finished watering this field. It's not perfect, but as you can see, the moisture area in here is now right around where we want it to be. It varies still a little bit, but it's in the neighborhood. So it should definitely be better than what it has been the last several times that we've harvested, right? Now the downside is I have to fill this thing up every time, and it takes forever to fill up. So it's one of those things where I'm probably going to keep this thing full off screen so that you guys don't have to stare at it. But also found out at 13 miles an hour seems to be our sweet spot for how much water gets put down. And so what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and fill this thing up. I think that first field took about 60 to 70,000 gallons or 70,000 liters to fill up. So I'll probably take at least that on the way up. This thing can fill up without anything attached to it as long as I start it with something attached to it. So it's going to continue to fill. As you can see, it's already got 1.44 million liters in it, and I've already gotten 50,000 out of it. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to pull this behind and keep this thing filled. I was hoping that would be the case. I was hoping that I could tow this and then have that. But the good news is I can tow this to wherever I need it. Say I need to go up to the top or whatever, I could tow this with us and then we would be fine. In the future, when we get some bigger fields and stuff, that's going to be necessary anyway. So I think that this is the right call for now, at least until we do some sort of like pivot system. But yeah, as proof of concept, we only need to see how much money we get out of the next harvest. And I'll also check the moisture every single month. Next month, we're supposed to get a little bit of rain, so hopefully the moisture will be fine. May not need to water, but we'll keep an eye on it because I want to maximize the amount of yield we get off the next harvest. So with that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. I know this is kind of a crazy episode, and I apologize for it being so split up. I have had a heck of a time trying to get through this episode today between performance issues and then people constantly messaging me or calling me. It's been kind of rough, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I know I'm not the best at this. I'm new. Like I said, I came from console to this, so all these new mods and stuff are stuff that I've got to learn. But I think we're starting to at least make headway on a little bit of information. So with that being said, thank you guys. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.